All right, so why don't you tell us your name and your angel background?
My name's Jean Hammond, and I've been doing angel investing for about 11, 12 years. I started by investing in a friend's company, Zipcar, and then I helped with a big round in which I met most of the angel community around Boston, including a lot of people who were invested in that company, and I helped lead that round. And in the course of that, I met my friend Jill Priodel. Soon after that, I stopped being the CEO of a venture-backed company. I had already sold one company to 3Com at that point, and decided to spend all my time doing angel investing. After a couple of lonely years, I came across Launchpad as it was getting restarted, and it turned out to be a lot of fun to invest with groups. So I love angel group investing. I always love that there's somebody in the room who knows more about whatever subject we're going to talk about than I know about, and so that just makes me happy. And so I'm now a member of Launchpad, Hub, and Golden Seeds.
And you actually were the one who kind of got Golden Seeds Boston off the ground, right?
That's right. Golden Seeds was going in New York, and the idea was to try to have more offices around the country. So I was a co-founder with Jill Priodel in bringing Golden Seeds to Boston. And at the time, of course, we had 4 angel groups in Boston, and I didn't think we had room for another one. But of course, by now we have 8 or so. So there must have been more capacity than I realized at the time.
How do you know a great entrepreneur when you see one?
The main thing about entrepreneurs that are really going to be fun is that they know how to think their way out of problems. I always say, hey, if I put that person in a box, they'd find a way to get out. And it's just a thought process of energy, passion for their subject, and the willingness to use data, but also to use data in a way that's sort of to their advantage. So some people are defeated by data. They say, oh, this doesn't look very promising. And somebody else looks at the same data and says, wow, we're going to have to find a niche where we go that direction. And so those are the ones that really can make a difference.
What kinds of investment situations do you steer away from?
Oh, well, some of the old tried and true don't go there messages are probably true. Investments where there's a husband-wife or really close relationship between the founders is sometimes difficult because when push comes to shove, bad things happen. And there's just if somebody's just too focused on themselves, in the end, there'll probably be some very difficult moments.
What was your biggest surprise as an investor?
I think my biggest surprise was how different and how the same these little startups are. In some ways, they're the same. They have to go through these different stages, but then some people come at those stages and they can leap them in big bounds, and other people kind of stall out, and it's sometimes not a business stage problem. It's sometimes just a stage of being able to grow an organization or other issues like that.
What's the best way to get a meeting with you?
Oh, well, people get lots of meetings with me. I'm very available to help people find whether they're ready for money yet. And so I try to tell people, no, you're not pitching me. I'm helping you look at this and say, how can we fit you into the ecosystem here in the area? Usually if I meet somebody and have a great conversation at an event, that works. Sometimes with some slowness in the follow-on by email. And of course an introduction from a friend always works.
Little advice. What kind of entrepreneur behavior drives you nuts?
Well, there's a bunch of them. Certainly the ones that say, hey, we can't do anything because we just don't have any money yet, and nobody wants to work for free. You look around and you see people with folks, they're not working for free, but they're working because they're co-owners of something with somebody. And And so people who can't see that spot get tiresome, because there's ways to talk people into it. I can't get every skill that way, but you can get a lot of them. And I also find that entrepreneurs that just cannot stop talking about the project, the product, and refuse to sort of think about the business around the product, because that's what we spend our time as investors doing. Once we understand what it is and who buys it, we spend a bunch of our time thinking about how can we get into the market? Is that possible? How will that go? And so that tends to be, you're trying to get the conversation over to business.
What's your core investing philosophy?
Well, I have had a couple over time, and for about the last 5 years, I've been saying that my philosophy is a drunkard's walk. That I'm going into the things that I happen to bump into at the right moment, where the entrepreneur and I can see the right things to do. But I also find that my history shows that I invest a lot when there's somebody in my investment group that I trust a lot to go on the board. And I do think the thing that investors do for entrepreneurs is serve on their boards and help them get structured. More recently, I've been actually looking at a couple industries and saying, I think I'm coming up to speed to actually understand this industry. And right this minute, my hot button is that the infrastructure around the edge of the education market is changing, and that's going to be a really fun place to be, and also does a great social good.
Is it the jockey or the horse?
Oh, it's both. The jockey's awfully important. If the person can't think their way out of the box and make the change, made a fairly high rate of change across the company, happen across the company, then it's not a good angel investment. VCs can invest in a concept and swap out the management, and even though I've helped change out management a couple times in companies, it's really a lot harder. If there's not a jockey and horse that you believe in, it's really not good angel territory.
I've had this hammer my whole life. I've changed the head 4 times and the handle 7 times. Yeah, it's not the same company when you're done. Last question for you. If you could give entrepreneurs one piece of advice, what would it be?
Entrepreneurs just need to keep going on the thing that they know best. There probably should be frequent, I don't know what they are, every 3 months, 6 months, sit down and think, is this really working? Because there are certain moments in time when, it is possible that you should throw in the towel. So take your big step back, get up the next morning, forget you ever had those thoughts and push ahead. But there are some moments when, just need to try something new.
Thank you very much.